Hi, and welcome to my deck again on a beautiful day in August. It's kind of overcast right now, so I thought I'd do this outside. Since it's been so hot lately, you just can't go outside during the day. I have today the new Bluetti Elite 100 V2. This is the, I guess call it second or maybe third member of the new Elite family of newer, smaller, more dense and compact power stations from Bluetti. This is effectively the replacement or the upgrade Successor in terms of capacity and battery to the AC180 that I have right here. This AC180 is actually the very first power station that I bought, and I love it. It has been a workhorse, and I beat the snot out of this thing. It is 1800 watts rated, 1152 watt hours. The new Elite 100, well, and it's 35 pounds. The new Elite 100 is same 1800 watt rating, inverter rating. It is 1024 watt hours instead of 1152. So like 100, watt hours less. I'm not sure that actually matters. It's my understanding that this one is rated at 10% reserve capacity. They keep 10% of the battery left once it shows zero. And these new Elites, I think they're discharging to 95%, only keeping 5% in reserve. So in testing of the Elite units, so far, it looks like they're really about the same battery, despite having a slightly smaller number. But this is 25 pounds, 35 pounds. Just look at the physical size difference. It's also, it's shorter, it's narrower, it's less deep. And I do not have the AC180, which would be the nearest comparison to the size of this, but this is the AC150B. It is 700 watts and half of the battery capacity. 700 watt inverter, 1800 watt inverter, and it's very similar size. The new Elite 100 has a number of upgrades versus the AC180. This has a 100 watt Type C on it. This has a 100 watt Type C and a 140 watt Type C. It also has the DC 5521 12 volt plugs, which are missing on here. They both have the same 60 volt maximum solar input controller voltage. This will take 10 amps for 500 watts. This will take 20 amps for 1,000 watts of solar input. The one thing that the Elite 100 does not quite match is the grid input maximum charge rate. The AC180, if I recall, will pull 1440 watts from the wall when you set it to turbocharge. This will draw 1200. Does it matter? Not so much, but for a difference in 10 pounds and this size, that's amazing. The Elite 100 also has Wi-Fi and all the UPS modes, which are completely absent from the AC180. It's a heck of an upgrade. Let's go do some testing. Let's do a full discharge test. I have a 1500 watt heater here. My power meter hooked up, data zeroed, full charge. AC output is turned on. That's why we can see the power meter. But let's give it some load, and we'll see what we get. So that should be 1500 watts there. This is not going to be a stress test. We're just running as hard as I can with a single device. This power meter is only rated for 16 amps, and I don't want to melt it trying to do a full load or an overload on the Elite 100. So we're 1500, 1600. It's starting to settle down. We'll come back when this is done and see what our watt hour delivery is. All right, we are back and we are empty. I just plugged it into this power meter down here off of my AC500 to recharge. Let me turn on AC output if it will let me. Oh, that's right. It will not let me until I get up to 5% charge. So we are going to recharge and we are going to see what the watt hours are for recharge. And I will come back and report both of those numbers. Okay, we're back and fully charged. The discharge test used 0.869 kilowatt hours, 869 watt hours. The recharge down here used 1.126 kilowatt hours. We'll review those numbers here in a second, right after I show some other data. So just like I did with the Elite 30, I did some standby testing here. So this is UPS consumption standby loss. So say you have the unit plugged in just like I do here to grid power, and you're passing through with the AC output on to like your computer internet router type stuff, and you're using it as a standby UPS. What does that cost you in terms of keeping this unit running? So I did that sort of three different ways here. The first is, well, I did them in reverse order from my description here. But the first is using as a DC UPS system. This is not using any consumption, this is just having the electronics running. But I ran it for 50.5 hours. It consumed 0.363 kilowatt hours. So 364 watt hours divided by 50 hours is it cost me 7.2 watts to keep the device running to have DC power available. And then I did it also just to compare with AC on versus AC off. I ran 63 hours, 0.428 kilowatt hours, so 428 watt hours divided by 63 hours, 6.8 watts to keep the electronics running. That is, the Bluetooth, the Wi-Fi. That probably includes the inverter being on. I'm not sure how they manage it internally because the next number is not much different. So this is with the AC output turned on. No load again, 71 hours, 0.565 kilowatt hours. So 565 watt hours divided by 71 hours, 7.96 watts. So if you had this, per my first description, running as backup for your internet, computer, that sort of thing in standby UPS, you would consume about 8 watts of loss of standby, consumption by having this device available and ready to go at all times. And I'll just repeat, the description I had in my Elite 30 video was my APC UPSs consume far more than this. So this is a remarkably efficient standby UPS system. All right, so now let's get to the discharge testing. So for the 1500 watt discharge, fully empty, I produced 800.86955 kilowatt hours, so 869.55 watt hours divided by 1024, which is what it says right here. 84.91% of its nameplate capacity it gave me as output. And just for comparison, I subtracted these two, and that is a difference of 154 watt hours delivered versus what it says on the front of the unit. And then I charged it at 600 watts, which is its standard charge rate. Interestingly, the Elite 100, the standard charge rate, just like with the Elite 30, is the same as the silent charge rate. So they're both 600 watts. The turbo on this is 1200, by the way. So I charged it 0 to 100%. It took 1.126 kilowatt hours, so 1126 watt hours divided by 1024 watt hours. Again, what it says right there. It consumed 110% of its nameplate to charge up. So that is 102 watt hours. I subtracted those again. So it took 100 watt hours extra to charge itself up. So that is conversion loss. That's heat coming out when it's charging. In the same way as the discharge is, inverter consumption. So it shows that rectifying and charging the battery seems to be a little bit more efficient than discharging the battery. All right, good testing. Let's look at some DC output testing with the USB ports here. So I've outlined the usefulness of the DC 5521s. You know, you've got the standard lighter style output. Let's look at the USB ports. So I have here, this is my HP laptop for work, and it will refuse to charge from anything less than a 100 watt output. So let's try it on the 100 watt there and see what it'll pull. I don't know if it'll actually take 100 watt, but it will refuse to charge from anything less than 100 watt. It's ramping up, 40 watts, 50, reasonable, okay. I have here the Anker power bank that will draw a real and true 100 watts. So let's put that on the 140 watt port and see what it'll take. There, we're ramping up. It's showing 93, 94 watts as its input here. We've reasonably gone up to 50 plus 100. All right, and let me show you all one other thing. So one complaint about these new units is they don't have a light on them. I've got an interesting solution, a little USB light here. So it just plugs into the Type A, and there you go. You've got a light, and you can move it around. I don't know, it's not built into the unit, but it is useful. I picked this up at a trade show. It's a nice color temperature too, not super purpley, but there you got a light on anything with a USB port. So the sun came out and I decided to hook up a solar panel. This is kind of challenging to get a shot of, but this is the Elite 100 with my 600 watt all powers panel. And you can tell by the shade here that we are well past solar peak, and it is laying flat on the grass, but this is a 600 watt panel and we are making 437 watts with the Elite 100. This is you know, we could do twice this, easy. We could put two of these panels in parallel with this device. This panel is about 13 amps, give or take, I think. So yeah, there's amp headroom for sure. Okay, let's take a look at the app integration for the Elite 100 V2. All right, it is fully charged here. Just from the main screen, you can see I'm connected via Bluetooth and the signal strength there. If I tap on the PV icon, we see power and voltage there of the solar input. If I tap on the grid icon, we see incoming grid power voltage frequency. If I tap on DC, I see nothing. If I tap on AC output, I can see load information. If I tap on the 100 in the center of the screen, I see the battery status. And this appears to be also in the new format that they're using. Back out of that. Going down the menu, we can turn DC on. We can turn AC on. We have estimated time remaining till empty. We have the energy statistics. And again, the Elite 100, as all the Elite series so far do, has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So you see energy savings, all these graphs and charts that they have here for production and consumption. I can tap on PV generation. It'll show me the sort of solar odometer of the unit. All right, let's go back up to the top. If I tap on the little gear icon here and go into the settings, it has the network stuff to set up your Wi-Fi. You can share it with other people. Choose whether you wish to default connect in the app via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth here. You can set your location. It has all the UPS modes again. Standard UPS, PV priority, time control, customized. Has all the features. Powerlifting, you can turn on and off. Has the eco settings where it will turn off the output once your load drops below a certain user definable wattage for a certain amount of time. That you can choose both of those. Screen timeout. This is when the display goes to sleep. I like 5 minutes. You can do the firmware. Let's see. System upgrade. Ooh, I do have an upgrade. We'll do that. Let's do that last. I will display that again, just like I did with the Elite 30. You can go into advanced here. You can choose 50 Hertz, 60 Hertz output. It has the system switch recovery feature where it will re-enable output if you run the unit to empty, and then it gets charged up again. It will turn the output back on if it was on when it went to 0%. Has the grid self-adaptation where it will make it more tolerant of input AC disturbances at the expense of a slower transfer time. It slows down the detection. The transfer time will stay the same, but it'll slow down the detection of a input event. Here you can choose the PV others. This affects thresholds for high power charging where it takes more amps. Which will make it friendlier for 12-volt car inputs. Here's some text describing that. If you want to enable high input, I guess all the time or above 16 volts, you just hit Y here and hit yes, and it gives you a little warning there. If you're above 16 volts, it will try to draw 20 amps. That seems like a useful feature for me. I do not connect this to like my car, so we'll leave that as it is there. You can go into About, see Wi-Fi, serial numbers, other things. So let's go back to firmware, and this appears to have the new firmware set up where it'll do multiples at once. So it looks like I have both an ARM and a DSP update. The BMS is current, so I will tap upgrade. And I will fast forward through this so you don't have to see everything in real time. I'm expecting it to take 2 or 3 minutes. All right, we're done. That took just about 3 minutes exactly. So there you go, that's an update. Welcome to another cooking episode. Today I have my air fryer and our friend the Elite 100. So it's plugged in. I'm going to turn on the AC output. Click, beep. And we're going to make dinner. I have here some chicken flautas from Costco. We're going to throw those in there, assort them around a little bit, like such. And these say 375 for 15 minutes, and we know the air fryer does not need near that long. So we're going to go for something with a little less fan speed, and we'll try bake. That's a lower fan speed. 330 for, we'll try it 10 minutes. And go. What do we show on the Elite here? 1644 watts. 1630, does it care? No, this is well within its capability. and it shows we can do this for at least a half an hour. Okay, we'll come back and see what my flautas look like. Okay, let's see what we got here. I can hear them sizzling. They sound crispy. What do we got for temperature? Get in there. 135, 160. Okay, we are ready. And while I'm out here, I went and got the DC 5521 to compressor fridge adapter cable that I have. So this is what these 5521 ports are great for. Is you can plug into there. You've got two. You still have the 12 volt output. You can run your compressor fridge. These tend not to come free, you know, unlike the 12 volt socket. So these are super useful. This is a great cord to have if you've got a compressor fridge freezer. Okay, I'm gonna go enjoy my dinner. Welcome to Underneath My Deck with Power Tools on this hot August day. So I have here the most challenging device that I've been able to power off of my AC180. This is a 4x36 bench belt sander. I use this to sharpen lawnmower blades. I'll tell you what, with the zircon belt, I think this is 58 or 60 grit. It makes absolute work out of sharpening mower blades. It is the trick. And then I've got another challenging motor load, a 2-horse air compressor that has quite the inrush. We're going to start with the air compressor first because I'm pretty sure it's going to work. I've used that with the AC180 quite a few times. Not really been a problem. I'll pull the app up here. This belt sander, sometimes, maybe 50% of the time, it will trip off the AC180. Just because of the massive inrush and rotating mass it has. Sometimes I can get it going by push starting it like this and then flipping it on, so we'll maybe have to try that. If not, maybe we'll try powerlifting. We'll see what happens. So we'll first start with the air compressor. I'm going to turn down the sound here and we'll see what we get. Okay, so 1100 watts there, not a problem at all for the Elite 100. Let's try the belt sander. Should I try to push start it or just kick it on? Let's just kick it on and see what we get. Oh, it tripped off. Yep, let's see what we got in the app here. Is it showing an error message? I can see it blinking on the screen, inverter overload. Yep, there it is finally in the app. There's a bit of a time delay, inverter overload. So we'll turn off the output, turn the output back on, listen for the click, and try it again. Nope, tripped right off immediately again. So we'll do a reset. Second time. And again, this isn't abnormal. This does happen with the AC180 also. Let me see if I can push start it and have success. Nope, that still tripped it off. Okay, let's try. I'll have to reset it. Let's try powerlifting. So I'll go in here, I'll turn on powerlifting. This should work. I've used this several times for motor loads. Turn the AC output back on. Okay. And it worked. Okay, so powerlifting mode worked just fine for the belt sander. Let me try it again just to make sure. Yeah, you can see the output here went to 700 and something watts, immediately. When I've run this with the AC180 and it has worked, and I've happened to be looking at the screen when I started up, I've seen as high as 35 or 3700 watts displayed for, you know, just an instant inrush, and that's got to be right on the limit of what will shut this off. Okay, so that's a look at the new Bluetti Elite 100 V2. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.